Hello everybody, this is Words Off the Page. I'm Alexa, and today we will be reviewing Nicola Yoon's Everything Everything. Now, this is a book I thought I was going to love just because it started out really great. The writing was pretty fast-paced and straightforward. Maddie and Ollie were really adorable with each other, and they were really cute on their own, so I wasn't really hurting for the characters. And the format was written kind of alike to Illuminae and Gemina, maybe not as found document-y, but there are little bits of drawings and web screenshots and stuff like that. So I really kind of enjoyed it at the start. I thought it was a bit quirky and was a really cute read. And then things started getting a bit weird, and now I'm a little disappointed with the book. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Goodreads, and we will get to those points right now. The first issue I have with this novel is Maddie's questionable decisions at some point of the novel. Her mom is getting a bit suspicious because she's spending more time with Ollie. She doesn't know Ollie is the thing in the picture. So her mom asks why she bought all these new clothes. It's a thing that she doesn't really know. It's a change she didn't expect. And so what does Maddie do? She buys a credit card. Not really buys, you can't buy a credit card. She applies for a credit card and gets a credit card. Which is kind of weird because I don't know how easy it is to get a credit card with no credit and being only 18, but I can't imagine it's that easy. I have a college card and I still have to physically go to the bank to sign papers, so it's a bit unrealistic, and it's really drastic for her to just be like, I need to figure out a problem to this, and the solution is to get a credit card. The entire rest of the novel, I kept thinking, who's paying for the money they're spending? Who's paying for this credit card? Somebody's gonna have to pay for this credit card. And I can't help but think it's gonna be the mom, which, considering what happens near the end, is more tragic and kind of selfish in the way I see Maddie. The second part I didn't like about this novel was Hawaii. There's a part in the book where Maddie decides to run away and go to the outside world, and considering her medical condition, she really shouldn't be, but she does anyway because she needs to live, which is falling into the narrative that disabled people can't live if they don't live by disregarding their disabilities, which is weird. Anyway, she decides to live, and she bought 2 plane tickets and booked 2 nights in Hawaii for her and Ollie, and they go to Hawaii together. And this is a problem because, well, how are you able to get through an entire airport, specifically LAX, at least 5-hour flight to Hawaii, another airport, a new climate environment, and come out of it with no issues at all? It's really unrealistic, and it was either plot armor or something fishy is going on with this book. And later on, they just have this honeymoon-esque vacation. They have sex for the first time. It's supposed to be beautiful and flowery when actually it's awkward and painful. But she doesn't get sick until after that, which is a problem. And it's not even a sickness like the common cold that should have really happened. It's that she got sick off of a pre-existing condition she had when she was younger, which is a really strange thing to get, especially if your immune system and you have a sickness where you can literally get sick and die off of anything, that's the only thing that hurts you. Unrealistic. Again, unrealistic. I don't understand, and that's why I have an issue. My third and final qualm with this novel is the treatment of SCID in the end, and furthermore the treatment of PTSD. Now, we find out in the end that Maddie never had SCID. It was a concoction of her mother's mind after losing her father and her brother, and her mother went into such traumatic stress that she convinced herself that Maddie has SCID, when in reality she doesn't. This kind of sucks because you think that Maddie has SCID just as much as she does, but in the end it turns out to be a lie. Furthermore, it villainized Maddie's mother's PTSD. It created her out to be a bad guy instead of this kind of tragic figure, especially in the eyes of Maddie, which I guess is a little understandable considering her position, but I I don't know. I don't really believe that someone who's that close to her mom would just kind of burn that bridge right away. Again, I've never been in this kind of position, so I don't know how people would react. But it seemed kind of cheap, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. It just didn't seem the greatest way for it to go. And while all she has to do is really just worry about her immune system, be cautious about what she's doing, her mother now has to go through very intensive psychiatric recovery. And what does Maddie do? Maddie instead just burns that bridge, kind of goes off to New York and tells her mother that she might not come back, which is kind of a shitty thing to do to your parent. I don't know. And in the end, it was kind of a weird cop-out ending. She finally meets up with Ollie despite burning that bridge, and they are together again? I don't know. The ending was very weird and abrupt, and I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't really a fan of how SCID and PTSD were handled. Furthermore, it played on the narrative that you can only be able-bodied and healthy to have a happy ending, which kind of isn't inclusive of everybody, because the whole reason now that we believe that Maddie has SCID, or the whole point of SCID in this novel now, is to play as a plot device and for us to be empathetic towards Maddie and Ollie and their relationship and their romance, which shouldn't be the case. These are my final thoughts on Everything Everything, and that's the reason why I gave the book 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Have you read the book? What did you think about it? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you disagree? Why or why not? Below in the description, I will be listing 2 more reviewers, 2 who focus very specifically on SCID, because I'm not a doctor, I haven't studied this, I also don't experience from big disabilities, so I don't really know how detrimental it can be to readers of disabilities. So we have one that's disability and kid lit that really go into SCID and why, flipping it and making it that she never had it harmful for readers and for people who want disability in kid lit and young adult fiction. And the second one is a doctor, I believe, from Canada who has studied SCID and understands the goings of immunodeficiencies and goes into the book on why it's harmful and why it wasn't that great of a book. I think these are really 2 good reads if you really want to understand furthermore why I didn't like the book, or why a lot of people didn't like the book. These are really great articles and reviews to read. That's the end of my review. That's the end of my first booktube video. If you liked it, please hit like. If you want more videos from me, please hit subscribe. I will also put all of my social media links down below. My Twitter, my Instagram, my Goodreads, and my blog. There it is. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye!